I'd like to start by talking about the Ramil's statement saying like the 4 people, the 2 drivers, the 20 gallons 3 times a week would save $2 a week. However, if you do the calculations, this is only 3 cents a gallon. Like Evan stated, that his quote said right around 3 cents a gallon. Most swings in fuel prices are usually over 3 cents a gallon per week. So people wouldn't get too excited about saving 3 cents a gallon. Increasing drilling may help big oil, but it will not lower gas prices, according to Defenders of Wildlife. 8 years of increased oil product has done nothing to reduce gas prices. Instead, we're faced with high gas prices for consumer, fat profits for the oil companies. Also, there's a claim 16 billion barrels of oil. It will take a long time to get that. We wouldn't see a drop in production for nearly a decade, if not longer. There would have to be a massive amount of investment dollars to tap the Arctic. According to the USG, a 1.9 million acre area of Anwr may hold up to 16 billion barrels of oil. The amount of oil may be staggering, but it will take years to set up the infrastructure and produce and transport Arctic oil to the U.S. All of this also includes the chance of oil spills. According to Alaska Oil and Gas Association, offshore oil exploration and development have created potential for oil spills. While extensive prevention measures are in place, it's not possible to totally eliminate the risk of major spills, which could happen in turn seeping into the oceans, which therefore would make it take a lot longer to clean up in the cold water. He also stated that we could set up temporary ice roads that would have no effect. And on the contrary, the roads would actually have a big effect. According to the Arctic Refuge staff, a substantial amount of water is needed for oil drilling, development and construction of ice roads. Water is needed for oil development ranges from 8 to 15 million gallons over a 5-month period, according to the Bureau of Land Management. If water is not available to build ice roads, gravel is generally used. Water resources are limited in the 1002 area. In winter, it's only about 9 million gallons of liquid water may be available into the entire 1002 area, which is enough to freeze into and maintain only 10 miles of ice roads. Therefore, full development may likely require a network of permanent gravel roads. Also, in the past, they've also seen signs of what ice roads do with heavy equipment. According to the Arctic Refuge staff, 1,400 miles of seismic lines were surveyed in this 1002 area during winter of 1984 and 1985 to determine the amount and distribution of petroleum resources. Vehicles in March 1985 compacted the snow and damaged the underlying plains during seismic exploration and activities. This disturbance was noted 15 years later. They could still see signs of the disturbance. Ramil also said we could get oil out of a certain spot. According to the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, while proponents of drilling insist that the Arctic Refuge could be developed by disturbing as little as 2,000 acres with the 1.5 million acre coastal plain, and NRDC analyst reveals this to be a pure myth. Why? Because U.S. Geological Survey studies have found that oil in the refuge isn't concentrated in a single large reservoir. Rather, it's spread across the coastal plain in more than 30 small deposits, which would require a vast network of roads, pipelines that would fragment the habitat, disturbing and displacing wildlife. He also touched on the...
I'm going to have to cut you off.
Okay.
It's 4:45 now.